We'll take it out of timeout just to show it. We're not doing anything with it today. It's not happening. You're not gonna make me. Hey, happy March. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Taya, and somehow on this channel you can find a mix of yarn, books, musical theater, and now a project pan, because I do it all apparently. I have so much fun incorporating all of my interests into this channel, and if you're a fan of that, then subscribe, because that's what we do here. But in this video, you are watching an entire month of me working on my whips. I know I said happy March, but that's because you're watching this in March and it's actually the start of February for me. So hi from the past. I hope the future is cool. I have 5 works in progress. Perfect world, we get that all down to 0. But if you've been here before, that doesn't work for me. I cast things on and just get so many more whips. That's not to say that I'm not gonna allow myself to cast anything on, because I am still sticking to the new cast on rule that I gave myself for 2026, which is on the 1st of the month, as well as any holiday, I will get to cast on. So there are 3 occasions in the month of February where I will be able to cast on. Those are not incorporated in this Finish It February. What is Finish It February? I realize I didn't really explain that. I'm sorry. I have all these whips. I'm gonna finish it in the month of February. I'm giving myself 28 days to finish it. One project, actually, I'm not gonna be pressed to finish it, but I am gonna press myself to pull it out of timeout. What are the whips that we're gonna be working on in Finish It February? Let's find out. I have 5. It might look like 6, but there are 5 because it is all, one of them is 2 things that are for one main project. Yeah, I have 2 cross stitch patches that I am currently working on. I'm working on the one for curtains. I just need to finish all the blue here. The reason I started a second one is because I ran out of the blue for this. So I will need to go to Michael's and find the thread to continue this. So I guess that's a little bit of a nudge for go to Michael's, go shopping. It's only 90 cents though, so like that's why I've been putting it off and working on this one. And this is the patch for Rock of Ages. I'd love to have both or almost both of these done. Definitely I want to get that curtains one done. Let's do the one I'm most excited about because I've been working on it as of lately. This was my Martin Luther King Jr. Day cast on. It almost looks like it's the exact same color as the jacket I'm wearing right now, but this is the Raspberry Kiss jumper from, I'm not certain if it's from Drops or Garn's Studio. I'll link the pattern in the description below, but this is a fun little cropped jumper for me. It looks excessively cropped, but I think honestly it's gonna be around the same length as the jacket I'm currently wearing. Once it's off the needles, it'll obviously be a little bit longer. I'm on the 2nd skein for this, and I'm already working on the bottom ribbing. And then all that's left after doing the ribbing is the sleeves and it'll be done. I'm using for this Fangirl Fibers in the color Willow. It's a fingering weight yarn. I'm holding it just by itself. It is a US size 6 needle for the main body as well as the sleeves, but I currently have a US 2 on there, which is 2.75 millimeters. I think the pattern calls for 3 millimeter, but I don't have one of those. So I just adjusted the pattern to use a little bit more stitches to accommodate for the smaller needle. That is project number 2. Project number 3 is for the senior center, and it is this scrappy diamond illusion blanket. I don't know what it's actually called. Let me grab the pattern. Illusion Infusion crochet blanket from Yarnspirations is the full title. This is the visual idea of what it's gonna look like. And this is one of those rescue projects that the senior center gave me. They gave me a bag of all of these little motifs already made, and my job is to sew them all together and make it a cohesive piece. This is what it looks like at the start of February. And I have an entire bag full of motifs for it. Oh, and also I have a crap load of acrylic scrap. When I got this, there wasn't any yarn to sew it together with, so we're using a bunch of scraps. Project number 5, we're gonna skip 4 for a second. Project number 5 is strictly dependent on if I finish project number 4. I don't want to doubt myself already, but I'm already doubting that I will get to this because, like I said, it's dependent on project 4. And project 4 is that one that I'm like just pushing myself to take out a timeout. And I'm clearly pushing myself further from doing that by stalling currently. This is project number 5. It is just a scrappy granny square. I think honestly it's big enough already to be a baby blanket, which is what it's meant to be. But the reason it's not done is because I have been holding out for the final color that I want to add to it, and that is using leftovers from project number 4, which is the one that's in timeout, but it's right here. This is a finished product, but it was my husband's birthday present, and his birthday is in November. I finished this for his birthday. He got to wear it. He got to try it on 2 days after his birthday because that's when I finished it. But when he tried it on, the thing was a dress on the man. I mean, it was a dress on the man. It goes down to his kneecaps. He's an average sized man. Let me just back up here. It looks gorgeous. I love the yarn. He loves it, but when he puts it on, it becomes a dress. And I addressed this. A dress. We get it, it's a dress. I addressed this problem in my Vlogmas episode 2, I think. The one that I did this video ends when I finish my whips. Which I guess is kind of like what is happening with this one. However, I'm giving myself a deadline. Anyways, this was made in a size large, which is the correct size for my husband to be wearing, but this was not blocked. This is 100% wool. I know wool stretches, but when I blocked my swatch, it actually didn't grow at all. So I went with the large. I followed the pattern exactly. There were no modifications made. And yeah, as I said, he put it on and it was a dress. Husband believes that I just need to pull back the yoke and adjust the shoulder situation. That area of the pattern was the most confusing for me. That is why this project has been in timeout and not been able to be worn at all. I think that I need to make a smaller size. I'm just scared. I'm scared to come back into this project. It's been in timeout since November. It's now February. This is honestly also the first time that I've had a fit issue with my knitting this severe. I've had things be a little small, but they they stretch a little bit when you wear it. I've never had anything massive. Yeah, I'm still stalling with this. The honest challenge with this project is to get it back on the needles. If I do end up needing to frog the entire thing and make a smaller size, the challenge for this project is to just get it back on the needles. If I do end up just needing to fix the yoke and shoulders, then just fix it will be the challenge, and then it'll be done, and then my leftover yarn I could use for project 5. Great. However, I need to go to the senior center to ask the question of how should I do this, because I've been putting it off since November. Let's finish it February. Okay, so I'm stealing the needles off of this project right now because it is the first of the month, and I'm trying to understand that I made a promise to myself to allow guilt-free cast on. So only on the first of the month and then holidays. I think I talked about that in the intro of this video, which I actually introed this a few days ago just because I wasn't gonna have time today to do it. But yeah, I'm actually really close on this project to not actually even needing these needles. So I could have waited, but we're not gonna wait because it's guilt-free cast on day. I'm just gonna do the swatch though with the stolen needles. If I end up actually needing this size for the project that I plan on casting on today, then I'll switch the needles back onto this just so I can finish off the round. It's literally 4 rounds away from not needing this size anymore because I switch it for a ribbing. Guilt-free, 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 guilt-free. I have a bunch of little scraps that I am going to cast on my first baby knit of the year, and I'm gonna make a scrappy good old raglan from Twisted Knitwear. I had to check the pattern. I think I only have enough scraps to do the 0 to 3 month size. I did see that this pattern actually goes all the way up to 14 years. So it would be really cool in my mind to make this pattern for my child's entire life until obviously the pattern size is out. I have been actually looking for patterns that could just make like repeats as they're growing up. And thankfully a lot of patterns do go at least to 3 years, I think. And then I'd have to start looking for a different pattern. But I think this one's pretty cool that it does go all the way up to 14 years. But I'm gonna go ahead and do my gauge swatch. I'll come back to you when I'm actually finishing something. Guilt-free. Guilt-free. Don't judge me. Who was gonna tell me I didn't need to do that? I could have just used this as my swatch. Same needle size. There's stockinette in there. Oh my gosh. But guess what? It actually matches the gauge. Yeah, so we'll go ahead, put those needles back on here. I'll finish what I need with it, switch the needles to the size that I need for the ribbing, and then we can cast on the other guy. There we go, there we go. That means I'm also getting progress on this guy. Wow, wasting time over here, wasting time. So yesterday was my guilt-free cast on day, as we talked about, and we have a tiny little baby sweater in the works. I am always amazed at how fast baby sweaters work up. I did join it underneath the sleeves this morning, so all I have to do now is the body and sleeves. Still an entire sweater to go. This is not actually a whip for Finish It February because it became a whip in February. That's how I'm doing this. I should be giving myself more discipline of I get to cast it on. I don't get to work on it until the other stuff is done. So that is gonna be a lot of discipline for me because this is working up so fast that I wanna just work on it. But that's the problem that I've been having, and that is why I have so many whips. So as you saw in the little clip that I did for this morning, I tried in my journal to make like a little schedule for this month and for all of these whips. So I gave each whip, and these are existing whips before February. And then I organized it oldest to newest and decided a color for each thing and a rough idea of how I'd like to work on it. So I'm actually about to leave for a week-long vacation on the 4th, and I come home on the 9th. So ideally, I will be bringing 2 projects with me. According to the schedule that I made myself with this, I will be bringing, I still haven't packed yet, still need to. It's okay, I have till tomorrow to do that. But I'm gonna bring this project with me, which is the Raspberry Kiss jumper, and my curtains cross stitch project. I did need to buy more of this blue in order to actually make progress on it. That's why I have the second patch started. I've been putting off going to the store just because these little guys only cost 90 cents and I only needed 1. So instead of going for one little thing, I waited until I had a reasonable amount of money to spend at Michael's. So I did get what I actually needed: celebratory balloons and also 1 skein of banana yellow from Loops and Threads Classic Cotton. I need this because the one that I have is not going to be enough for a cast project. So I do make a gift for my cast every time I'm in a show, and it started out as something big, and eventually I realized I can't do that for everything, so I've turned it into keychains. I do keychains of 1 little item that matches the theme or vibe, something that goes along with the show. And for this show, Big Fish, I chose a daffodil. If you don't know about the show Big Fish, daffodils are the main girl Sandra's favorite flower, and it is a huge, huge number. And also, it's not even just to the musical, it is a movie as well, and the daffodils are like the key giant thing. So I will be making daffodil keychains for my cast. This is also not a whip for this video, but it is something that I will be working on in the background for February because I need a substantial amount of these before opening night, March 13th. So that is why I've introduced another skein of yellow into my stash. I'm trying really hard to work just with stash material and stash yarn for this year, but this is one of those projects that you just need a little bit, you know? Neither here nor there. Something off of the needles, but it's still not done. We've got sleeve 1 and sleeve 2 that we still gotta do. I'm going to save starting the sleeves for tomorrow, especially if I'm going to be taking this with me. I want to make sure that I have like enough work to do on vacation, so I don't want to like overdo it today. As much as I want to just like finish something, I could go and finish the baby sweater, but that's not part of this video. I might change my mind like halfway through the month and be like, you know what, we're gonna finish the thing, but we'll see. I'll check back in tomorrow. I got back from my trip to see my sister and nephew a few days ago. Because it is almost halfway through February, that means we're also somehow already halfway through this challenge. I always forget how fast February goes, and also because I did just get back from a vacation, the last couple days of like getting back in the swing of things, it has made it hard also to film this last week. I did originally want to kind of break this video into week by week, but yeah, because the vacation and getting back into the situation of things, making that just a little bit harder. Just a little bit. I'm trying out a new angle as well in my house. I have this wonderful little couch in the corner and I've got my emotional support poo. I think when I put this chair here back in September, I think is when I did it. I originally wanted this to be my reading and crafting chair so that I don't overwhelm the couch with all of my knitting, and that's exactly what I keep looking over at because it's a disaster. I need to clean that, and maybe you'll get to see me do some of that. But what we're actually here to sit down and talk about is the progress that I made while on vacation, as well as over the last 2 weeks, because how are we already 2 weeks through the month? According to the schedule I set myself, I was meant to finish my Raspberry Kiss jumper and the curtains cross-stitch patch while on vacation. That didn't happen. I decided to cast on my cast project for Big Fish and just get it out of the way. We went on a road trip while I was on vacation and I had 3 hours there and back in the car, so 6 hours total of crafting time that I could have been doing something. Yes, I could have been working on the Raspberry Kiss, I could have been working on the cross stitch, but I didn't. Instead, I brought my cast project and I actually finished all of them. So I have 30 little dandelion keychains, which when I came home, I added the keychain hardware, but this is what they look like. I did unfortunately run out. I know I said I bought some new yarn to be able to finish it. I thought that it was going to be enough, but it literally ran out 1.5 flowers away from the end. Obviously, I didn't finish the Raspberry Kiss or the curtains cross-stitch patch while on vacation, but I did get some serious progress. And I did actually finish when I got home. So this is currently what it looks like. I still need to block and weave in the ends, which I'm gonna actually start that process today. After I finished this, I decided to jump back in because oh my goodness. The gardeners decided to show up in the middle of that and I was going to try to film through it, but it just got way too much. So I waited it out for them to move on to another house. And yeah, so any noise you hear is the gardeners at someone else's house. I was talking about this. This used 181 grams of yarn and I have a bunch left over, which is interesting. The pattern said it was going to take 350 grams and it used 181 and I followed it exactly. After I cast that off, something else spotted my eye. Since I did make it back home, I had all of my whips to my discretion and I decided to finish the good old raglan by, completely forgot the designer, but I know I've mentioned it already in this video and it's in the description below. But this is in the size 0 to 3 months and I used my little leftovers that I have from a Lantern Light Oceans kit. Yeah, it was a mini skein kit that I've already put into my Hexie Fade as well as my Cozy Memories blanket, and I had just a little bit left over, so I turned it into this. I still have leftovers. I think, or not leftovers, I still have more from this collection, and again, this used less yarn than the pattern called for. It said for this size that I would need anywhere from 150 to 200 grams for this size, and I used 58 grams of yarn for this. Again, followed the pattern exactly for size and had the correct gauge. I don't know, and because I don't have a baby to actually try this on, I don't know if it actually fits the size that it's for. I am starting to fear, because I have my husband's sweater kind of haunting me. I do fear that this might be a little big. It looks a lot bigger, but I know it is for 0 to 3 months, so it can grow with baby. I have another sweater that I made the same size that I could compare, but again, I don't know if it actually fits because I don't yet have a baby to try it on. Regardless, I'm still going to keep it as it is. I think this turned out really fun. My husband and I took turns digging into my scrap bucket, and that is how we came across, or how we came to, this randomized. It was gonna be randomized anyways because it's scrappy, but this is our 0 to 3 month good old raglan. I think I have enough scraps in my scrap bucket to make another one, same size. I mean, because the pattern said I was supposed to have 150 to 200 grams for this, I thought it was going to take up everything, but I only used half of them, so I could essentially make another one in the same size or save those scraps to do something else. And I have been continuing to work on my curtains cross-stitch patch. I think another day or two, or honestly one aggressive day of work, will get this done. I still have today that I could work on it as well, but I don't want to overwhelm my hand because it is such fine motor skill necessary. This is what it's looking like. We're almost there. And I think that's all I have for an update for now, so catch back with you soon. And this is the mess I was referring to. So let's maybe do something about it today and then get blocking. Why is it so hard to clean up after yourself sometimes with crafting materials? For the longest time, I've wanted this basket to only contain the whip that I'm working on. Sometimes, like, the first 2 days when I like reset that intention, it works great, and then it turns into a mess. So let's try to actually fix that. This needs to be blocked, throw it over there. This needs to be blocked, throw it over there. This yarn needs to get put away. Yeah, when I said I have a lot left over, I am going to transition them into a baby knit eventually because I found a pattern that's identical to the Raspberry Kiss for baby size, and I think that would be fun to have a match. Okay, it's empty. The whip that we are working on is cross stitch. It lives in here. In you go. Happy Valentine's Day and hello from my car. I have decided to take myself to Disneyland today and treat myself to our Valentine's Day cast on. I think I'm going to actually turn this into a Disney only project, and I think it's gonna be super fun. So in this little bag, which has Mickey Mouse on it, I did make this. It is literally just leftover fabric scraps that I found in my grandma's fabric scrap bin, and I made it into this little bag. Unfortunately, it's smaller than I would have liked it to be, but it was the perfect size for this fabric. The fabric was literally only so big, and it ended up being the exact dimensions of the size of the bag that it needed to be for a small bag. That was a lot of talk about a bag. Might as well show it off because it is adorable. But this is the outside, and the inside has villains. And this bag, or this, what's this thing called? Goodness. This tag says, "Best day ever!" from Tangled. So I thought this was super perfect. This is why I want this to be my Disney project. I am using the Fangirl Fibers 2024, I think it was, monthly subscription Disney attractions subscription. And this is the month of January, or this was the month of January yarn, and it is meant to resemble the People Mover, which no longer exists, but it was a ride in Tomorrowland. So what I'm gonna go do, actually, I'm gonna cast this on real fast because I don't like to bring any knitting into Disney that has an exposed, where is my needle? Okay. I don't like to bring any knitting projects into Disney when I have a naked needle, just because it does look a little more threatening, I want to say, when it is a naked needle. So I'm going to cast this on in the car, go through security, and go hang out at Disneyland for a few hours, work on this. I will be making the Quadrophenia blanket. I can't think about the designer's name off the top of my head, but let's go ahead and cast this guy on. It's gonna be super fun. Oh, final thing I'll say, and then we'll cast it on. The reason I want this to be my Disney is obviously for the yarn, but it's a garter stitch pattern, so no thinking necessary. And I think every new skein, I'm gonna go hang out in the part of the park where that Disney attraction lives. So we're gonna go hang out in Tomorrowland while I work up People Mover. Finish It February is halfway done, almost 3/4 of the way done at the point that I'm filming this, and I'm realizing that I have more whips now than what I started with, and that is because I allowed myself to do my guilt-free cast-on days. Those are done for the month, but after making the impromptu daffodil keychains for my cast, I had an idea and I brought it to my director, and he said go for it. That idea is to sell things at the concessions for our run, and some of those things that I decided to make were originally just the daffodil keychains, but once I got the go-ahead, all of this stuff started happening in my mind, and I said, treat this like a mini market. And so I decided to start casting on a bunch of things for that. I don't have a quota that I need to meet, but as things get brought up into my mind, I say, let's just make it. I did buy some yarn in order to make this little market happen, but as you just saw a minute ago or a second ago, however long ago, this pile is insane. And before I allow myself to work on this market prep, I need to figure out something. So I remembered that I needed to film, honestly, while I started doing this. This is a pair of pajamas that were unfortunately not super comfy. They're adorable, but the fabric is just really itchy for me. And so I decided to steal the buttons off of it, and then I can get rid of the fabric. And I made it 3 out of 5 of doing that. I just cut them off, but I need to like get rid of the little, what's this called? Thread. So that's what I'm doing right now. And then that'll be one project off of the list. This wasn't an original like whip, but it is something that I've been putting off. So I am counting it as a finish it February project. So yeah, as soon as this is done, I'm actually cleaning my house right now, and then that's what like prompted this whole thing. This would be easier with a seam ripper, I realize, but I don't have one of those. And please excuse my laundry in the background. All right, there we go. I can throw this away. I need to vacuum, but that's why we're clearing up our whip space so that I can vacuum and finish cleaning the house. A small detour from cleaning. But that one is done. Oh my gosh, I have thread all over me. What else is in this basket? Oh yeah, things that I need to weave in the ends, and then they're done. So let's do that. Boom, bing, bang, boom. Get it done. Get it done. Boom. It's wearable now, blocked, woven in ends. I might wear it to rehearsal tonight. I realize you can't see my face. Alrighty, and then we got this little guy. And we're back with another little baby sweater, or just another sweater in general. Here we have it, completed. I feel like this Finish It February is turning more into a finish tasks rather than finish projects. And I'm not entirely mad at that. As long as I'm checking stuff off of my to-do list, like I feel like plans change all the time. So anything I said at the beginning of this video probably is null and void at this point because plans change. So I once again have an empty basket. This is my whip basket, but I got a bunch of whips. So, I've said it numerous times that this is meant to be, if I can fit a project in this, or however many projects I fit in this basket, that's what I can work on. But as I've been casting things on, I've kind of given more of thought into like, I want to be able to have a project that I can take to the movie theaters or in the car, like portable stuff that I can have as easy projects and whatnot. And actually this thought came when I had to recast on this guy. Let me adjust you. I'm tired of crooking my neck. That's better. I know I'm still crooked. I kind of don't care. My husband would say this is called a Dutch angle, and it's used in numerous movies, numerous scenes in almost every single movie. I got his jacket back on the needles. This is my husband's birthday present, or it was his birthday present for 2025. His birthday's in November. And as we did discuss at the beginning of this video, when he tried it on, it was a dress. And honestly, this looks entirely too small now, but I cast on one size smaller than before. And I'm hoping that this time around it fits. I think I have it on a smaller cable than the first time I did it, and that's why it looks insanely small. But also, I don't know what it is about this time around. It feels right this time. And the magic is that as I knit, I'm just frogging as we go. So yeah, but that means this is not going to be finished in February, especially with all the other things that I've got going on now. But this is my movie knitting and whatnot, because it is literally straight stockinette forever. I finished my curtains patch, and I don't know if I showed it to you already or not, but in case I didn't, here it is. In case I did, here it is again. And I've not yet picked this one back up, but this is the next cross stitch patch that I need to be working on. Things are moving, guys, things are moving. My pile's getting smaller. Okay, so movie knitting exists. 30 minutes a day going in the basket. Remind myself to work on it. Wouldn't it be fun to just be at Disneyland all day? Every day of your life. In this bag, I have the beginnings of my Chevron Haze design. And that's my sneak peek of the swatch and colors. The dark orange is actually not going to be involved. I thought I wanted to use it, but we're not going to use it. And that is on the needles. Because this needs a lot of brain space, I can't finish it this month either. And then all that's left of what I'm looking at over here right now is trash. But this giant bag here, which needs to just be sewn together, and all the yarn I've decided to use for my little market. So I think I've done a pretty good job just by honestly weaving these things in. I think I'm doing a really good job for this month so far. It's currently the 17th, and that means I've got 11 days left. We can reroute the plan a little bit here. I think what I'd like to do is finish one more thing, and that is gonna be this guy. I think this is gonna be my new focus project. I want to get this gifted back to the senior center as a full-on item. So what I'm gonna do to help remind me of that, I'm gonna shove the piece that's already started in the basket. I thought it wasn't gonna be possible, but seeing this all kind of better organized, it makes more sense, and it's seeming more possible.
It's either engagement or not. So I haven't decided anything.
It's officially the last day of February. Oh my gosh. Rent's due tomorrow. That sucks, but that means this video is coming to an end and I have some awesome stuff to share with you guys. I first want to apologize for whatever my lighting is. I know in my Project Pan video, the lighting is absolutely atrocious. I promise I will make sure that lighting in the future is better. I've just unfortunately not had the best lighting opportunities this particular weekend. Anyways, lighting is quickly going away because it is 5 p.m. for me and the sun is going down. So I'm gonna try to make the exit outro of this video as quick as I can. You've already watched, I think, an hour of footage of me crafting all month, so trying to go as quick as possible. I think I did really good. I am really proud of myself for this month. Looking at everything that ended up happening, I did a very good job, and I have to give myself a pat on the back for that, because while I didn't complete every single project that I came into the month with, I still made severe progress on these projects and finished a crap load of other things. So going into just whips that I came into the month with, and that starts with a finished object of my curtains cross stitch patch. I do still need to do the final patchwork of this, but the actual crafting of the patch is done. So here it is. I'm so excited. And I also had my Rock of Ages cross stitch patch, but I knew I wasn't going to finish this. It honestly did sit on the back burner for the majority of this month. As soon as I finished the curtains one, I wanted to finish other things, and as you saw, I did get approved to do a pop-up shop, so I did start creating inventory for that. But it's okay, I have no deadline for this project being done, and I do want to always be having a little bit of a cross-stitch situation. Like, even if I did finish this, I would have started another one because I have more shows that I need patches for. I thought of at first like making like a grand finale or whatever for this, but I'm just gonna go in order of how I had it listed, of like my oldest whip to my newest whip situation. So the next project was my husband's birthday sweater. I'm not gonna go into detail anymore on this thing, but unfortunately it was decided that I need to make a smaller size, which I think I already talked about in this video. So I got it cast on again, and I don't think there's been any new progress since the last time you saw it in this video. So yeah, here's this guy. I am glad that we're going on a new journey with this, but I would have enjoyed being able to actually have my husband wear it because it's supposed to be his birthday present. Anyways, moving on. The senior center blanket. I spent so many hours sewing this thing together. It's currently folded in a fashion that I'd like to keep it folded in, but I know that I did like a blanket drop of this, so refer to that if you want to see the whole thing. I am really glad to finally have this thing done. I've had it in my possession for way too long, and it needs to go back to the senior center to go into someone else's home and keep someone else warm. Also for the senior center, I had this baby blanket that I had originally wanted to use the leftovers of my husband's sweater. I'm definitely going to have leftovers now that I'm making a smaller size. I was gonna have leftovers anyways, but I decided after opening this up and just looking at it, it's been done for far too long. It's the perfect size for a baby blanket. Let me back up as much as I can. I'm currently standing on my knees, and it goes from my chin to the middle of my thigh. So I think it's a good size for baby, and that's what it's meant for. And because it's a granny square, I don't think it really needs a border. It looks beautiful. I have a baby blanket made by my mom that honestly I don't even think was ever finished. And there's no border. I obviously don't use it anymore since I'm no longer a baby, but I don't think it bothered me that there wasn't a border. So this guy is done. Progress, guys. I told you, progress. I came into the month with 6 projects, and I finished 5. Boom. The 5th one though is my Raspberry Kiss jumper, which I actually even wore in this video. I really enjoyed the fact that I got to wear this so quickly after making it, and unfortunately I stumbled upon, after wearing it, I think I wore it in the wrong circumstance, and this is why this happened, but there's a hole in the armpit. And I think that is because I asked too much friction of this sweater the day that I wore it. I wore it to a dance rehearsal, and yeah, I think it was too much to ask for this sweater. But I know I have enough leftover yarn to fix it. I can't be bothered to. It's not gonna happen. That's everything that I asked myself to do in the month of February. But I did also, like I said, get approved to do a pop-up shop. So I've been a crocheting machine all month. I'm gonna reach behind you to grab everything and get you out of here as quick as I can. Here it is. You even saw me build this little 3-tiered case in this video, I'm pretty sure. I'm starting to be bothered with the way I'm sitting, so I'm gonna go faster if I can. I have 6 flower pot coasters. You pull the flower out and it becomes a coaster. Ta-da! I still have time to create more inventory, and that's what I'm working on right now. So I don't know how many I'm gonna end up having, but I think the way that this case is currently displayed is perfect for how I envision my little stand. I have this adorable little lamb. This guy is not going to be for sale. He unfortunately took way too long and way too much discomfort to make. I didn't even actually finish it. It is meant to have 4 legs and a face, but I decided he's cute enough as he is, and he stands perfectly on his own as well. I decided that this lamb is a boy. 3 little fish bags. These are small drawstring bags that look like a fish. Again, the show that I'm doing is big fish, so I had to play on with the fish theme. I want to make a few more of these because I'd love for them to go along as like a show special type thing with the keychain daffodils. I think I already chatted about the whole concept of big fish. This video is coming out early enough to kind of tell you guys about it though. If you are in the Southern California area and Yorba Linda isn't terribly far from you, I do recommend, if you can, please come see Big Fish March 13th to 29th, 2026. And I couldn't be prouder of this cast and to be part of the cast as well. We've worked our booties off, and we are still working our booties off getting this show ready to go run and perform for whoever comes to see it. I know tickets are currently on sale, so the link down below is where you'd find those if you can make it. But the other things that I have available at my little pop-up shop as well is this mesh market bag. I'll have a few of these, and I say will because I've not yet made them. And then the big guy is my keychains. I say they're big, but they're not. They're the size of a palm, and they're just adorable. I love these. Are definitely the smallest thing that is available or will be available, but they are the biggest item for the show in my opinion. And I'm just so excited to have my first ever little pop-up shop and have it be part of doing something else that I love, which is performing. So I'm not gonna sit here and count how many daffodils I've made because I'm still making a bajillion of them. But that is everything I did in the month of February. I think I succeeded at Finish It February. Whew, that was a big one. I hope you enjoyed this video. I promise if you are a subscriber for my creating and crafting content, you don't have to wait a million months again for another upload. I do have a tech week stitching in the works. Mentally, it hasn't actually started yet because we haven't entered tech week at the time that I'm filming this, but there will be a tech week vlog in the month of March, and I do plan on not making you guys wait another entire month for more crafting content. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below anything you feel like. I do enjoy seeing comments, just chatting with you guys. Also, it really does boost morale with the channel, so any positive feedback or any positive, literally anything, I will gladly accept. It means the world to me just to have a little hello. But anyways, I'm rambling now. I hope to see you again somewhere else on my channel or in the crowd of big fish. But until then, cheers. I don't have a drink to cheers you with this time. Bye.